na sitarudi nyuma. Mimi nimevumilia ya kutosha.
Hiya guys, back to our YouTube channel. Thanks for your great support. William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya. Tabani tena. Mambo yameanza kumulemea. Guys, kumbuka William Ruto amehost Meru residents. First of all, alihost Kisii residents, akahost Kiambu residents. Then, yesterday, amehost Meru residents and leaders. And ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba baada ya residents kuchomoka pale State House, kumbuka wamedance, wameimba, wamekula, wamesherehekea, wameambiwa nitawafanyia hivi na hivi na hivi. Unaona, wameketi wanasikiza. And after that, waliamua kutoka wakisema one term. So kumaanisha chochote William Ruto atajaribu kufanya hapa nchini Kenya ili kurejesha support ya Wakenya kwake, then haitaweza kufaulu. Even if William Ruto ataingia boma after nyingine, aseme ya kwamba from this month mtakuwa mnapata 6,000 kila mtu kwa familia, kila mtu kwa nyumba atakuwa anapata 6,000 Kenya shillings, but still bado William Ruto atafall in 2027. Hiyo ndio kitu nimekuja kurealize, and in this video I want you to accompany me step by step ili uweze kujionea jinsi ambavyo mambo yanaendelea kufanyika hapa nchini Kenya. Kabla tufike pale guys, you are going to be shocked. Kabla tufike pale, kumbuka chenye Rigathi Gachagua alituambia William Ruto alikutana na 3 leaders of Alshaabab. Unaona watu wangu, alikutana na wao, and I don't know walikuwa na plan nini. Rigiji alituambia. And guys, most of you, wakati ambapo mnasikia Rigiji ametambua siri, you see guys, huyu jamaa amekuwa pale ndani State House, amekuwa kiwaka na William Samoei Arap Ruto. So chochote Rigathi Gachagua anatuambia, nilikwambia jaribu kuamini. Na usipoamini, akizungumza leo baada ya masiku inachomoka. And that's why Rigiji ameshindwa kuwa arrested. Unaona watu wangu? And now, Rigiji alituambia kwamba William Ruto amekutana na Alshaabab. Watu wengi wakasema kwamba no, huyu jamaa because ako na hasira amekuwa impeached, so anataka kupunish William Ruto, dragging things to President William Ruto. But I want to tell you that Rigathi Gachagua ikifikia mahali ambapo anatambua hizi siri, ujue ni maukweli tupu. Now, si governor wa Mandera amelia, Juba lands wameinvade pale, na residents wa pale wako na wasiwasi. Unaona watu wangu? Maisha yao iko hatarini. Kumechemuka, and that's why Rigiji hakuweza kuwa arrested. Unaona watu wangu? Hakuweza kuwa arrested. So now ensure me like video, na nasema thanks for your great support. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Kabla tuangalie Rigiji pale, kumbuka nilikwambia residents wa Meru ambao waliingia State House waliamua kusing one term. In fact guys, wakati ambapo Gen Z pia walialikwa pale State House, baada ya hapo interview fulani ikafanyika TV47. Sikiza kwanza.
There is no institution that is not in debt in Kenya. You know that? We cannot, and when you ask them questions like chairman here, they will point you to shiny things that they have done where they get commissions. Either it is a stadium, they'll point you to some road, because that is what they focus the money on. They get commissions from that. And I want to tell you, chairman, and those people that are surrogates of the president, it is high time you realize that Kenyans no longer believe in all these things. They've realized ni wakati wa kukula, wacha walete hizo vitu tukule. But what you are saying, stop discriminating Kenyans. If you're doing empowerment in Kapseret and you're giving people motorbikes and tuk-tuks and posho mills and car wash machines and tanks, do the same in Kisii. If you're doing that in Nairobi, in State House, giving out people machines to do business, do the same in Nyamira. If you're doing that in Nairobi, do the same in Kitui. Stop discriminating Kenyans. That is what we are saying. And wherever you're getting that money from, just ensure schools also get capitation in full, ensure the health sector is working.
Thank you.
And ensure other programs actually run government.
Dr. Mutunga, you're staying at the least to say,
Well, please,
yes.
let me say this. It is very important for us to be held to account for some of the utterances you are making here. Somebody, my friend here, says that money meant for capitation is the one that is going through empowerment.
Where do you get the money?
Capitation has always been the way it is right now. Even in the previous government, it was around 16,900. Even then, for several years. So it is not, there was no empowerment then. And again, my friend here says it could be from the confidential vote. I would be very happy if it is coming from the confidential vote, because those who have sat in those positions have made themselves super rich. This money is reaching Kenyans now. Why not? Then the other issue is, my friend tries to mix himself up by double speaking. First of all, he says he has never been to any empowerment program, so he can't speak to it. He does not know. But then he tries to show to explain to Kenyans how it happens. So that is a blatant lie, because he does not know what happens. I have never, I've been to 2 or 3 functions myself, 3 to be very precise. I have never received a coin to give. That is myself. I've never received any money to give. It depends on whether you ask for money yourself. I have never. Bring it here. Let me it up.
You get the Bible.
I have never received the money to give. Let me, you know, we have a chorus of opposition.
Okay. Let Dr. Mutunga.
We should be given a chance to adjudicate our point with a lot of respect, Shabir.
Listen, one thing.
I have not had the time to say.
Let him have his
He has had more than enough time to say all these things.
No.
Why don't you want me to finish my point? But all of you are speaking from one side. I need time to respond.
We will show you where you are wrong.
But wait for your time to show.
All right, can I
finish?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
He will not finish before 11.
Now, my friend here says,
because
he says that if empowerment is coming in terms of motorbikes and others, I accept it. But if it comes in form of money,
no, we are saying,
what is he talking about?
Even if it's in money or motorbikes, do not discriminate other parts of the
country. If it is no empowerment, there should be no empowerment. So he actually recognizes this is empowerment.
It is theft and bribery.
Cash can also be used to buy those things in a different way. If you go to a women group whose total borrowing capacity is 30,000, and you enhance that kitty by 20,000, it becomes 50,000. These are empowered people. So what are we talking about here? We are just trying to vilify a very important point.
I think you need to give me
I want to remind Mutunga.
I think you need to give me
He is a PhD holder.
Mm-hmm. And very analytical.
As he speaks.
Nobody has broken my record in KU.
Remember that.
Let me tell you that. My record in KU stands today. Nobody has broken it.
When he talks about economic empowerment,
record on what?
Huh? I did my PhD in 3 years.
Let him talk.
3 years, 3 months.
Okay. Let Shakil continue, then we'll come to you.
I want to ask you one thing. Which committees are the ones people ask for the most? There is literally blood spilt. Roads, agriculture, budget finance, yeah? Health. Which are the other ones? Broadcasting, catering committee. These, and I will promise you, and you know that I can even promise you, and I can show you.
Bring it up.
Bring it up. You see, if you want to, you can say what you want, but let me tell you one thing. When you come to empowerment, I have seen him. This is a fact, and I'll tell you. You are called so and so, come to this empowerment. You will be given transport. Unafika pale,
If
When
you
I
don't
give-
have transport at your
No,
agency,
then listen to
then-
me. You have talked so much. Just
No, but
because you
you
have one
see-
PhD, I have 4 degrees, my friend.
All right.
More than you.
Doesn't matter.
Now please listen to me.
I did say that.
No, you
he
did.
said it because
You
he
did say-
recognizes and knows.
No,
Yeah,
no,
because what he's saying is it doesn't
It's
fit
a-
that
it's a reverse.
expectation.
No, you see the situation is
This is
this.
the truth. No.
This is a fact. You're told, come, we're going to give you transportation. Then when you come and sit down there, how come everybody gives 100,000 shillings? You notice next time, everybody gives 100,000 shillings. 100!
Give what I have.
Because you look, you can talk what you want. You've had a lot of time. I sit, you're a second termer, one. I'm fourth termer.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. You must understand
Depends on
certain
the levels
things.
of exposure.
No,
You're exposed in that
certain
direction.
things you must understand. And if you want to admit, your agriculture committee is a money maker. How? Oh yes, how? Whether it's sugar, whether it's fertilizer, whether it's giving rice
Subsidies. To the committee members? We would like
But
you
it
to
has-
prove
no,
that.
no,
We would like you to prove that.
Chair,
I would be very happy.
Chair,
because
if I'm the president
committee for
and I'm advising the
3 years that I've
president
never made a
as the
cent.
chairman of APNAC and African Parliamentarians Against Corruption, and we are recognized throughout the world. Chairman, May Excellency the President, I'm looking at you. You may feel that you want to stop corruption. Take the first step. Get rid of all these committee chairs, all of them. Yeah, I'm not one. Get rid of all of them. And then also inform your ministers, you shall not give any inducement.
So he should not just leave it at pronouncing that you have chairman or the committees which are being bribed. So you should reshuffle.
Does
You should
it
reshuffle
mean-
the entire.
No, you should be the first one to resign, my friend. Why don't you?
If you can prove, Shabir, if
we
you can
don't have
prove
to prove.
today,
Listen
anything
to
that
me.
I do has
We
never been
don't-
through
listen
influence,
to me.
I'm ready and willing to
We're
resign.
already
Honorable
you've been
Shashikil,
proving
you
yourself.
seem to be having confirmable facts regarding
No, really?
Let him give us the
the
facts.
affairs of the
Oh, yes.
Agriculture Committee.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
have any?
Yes.
Do you have any that you can table on this particular show?
Well,
and tell us
we
so
did
that
when it
Don't
came
we
to the
table
when
it?
we did it to the fertilizer. We did when we talked
Fertilizer.
about the maize.
So how did
No,
the
no, hold
committee
on a
benefit
second.
from fertilizer, Mr. Shabir?
Where did you table it?
Excuse me, let
We
Shabir
were-
tell us
you were not
how
there,
the
my
members of the committee benefited from the fertilizer saga,
They
or
were
from the
given-
sugar,
they were
or
given
from the
money.
rice.
They
Please
were
tell
given-
us.
Okay, let me tell you one.
Kumaanisha kuna kitu William Ruto alikuwa anafanya kama empowerment. Hiyo ni campaign. Hiyo ni campaign President William Ruto amekuwa akifanya. Now, tuachane na hiyo story. Tunataka tuangalie governor wa Mandera County. Amejaribu kuspeak na ameongea kwa hasira zaidi. Sikiza.
We want to call upon His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of all the armed forces. Mandera cannot be turned into a battleground for Somalia. We have no interest in Somalia. The only interest we have in Somalia is peace. If they cannot peace and fight, then we have no business to involve in their internal affairs. They have opened a camp in BP1. BP1 primary school is now closed. And there are people who want to do exam in the next 1 month. How do you close a public school and turn it into a military training camp? It is impossible. So tunawaeleza immediate relocation of Jubaland force out of Mandera. Immediate. I want to tell them, if we don't do it, we will do it ourselves. Kama wanataka unatusaidia peleka Somali, saidieni huko. The Somalis are not land. You cannot. Huwezi funga mashamba ya wananchi, huwezi funga shule, huwezi funga water supply, huwezi huwa watu wetu ovyo in the name of supporting a faction in Somalia. What interest do you have in Somalia? We don't have any interest. So tunawaeleza CS defense, sujia kwa wapi? I've never heard of that lady since she was appointed. Sujia anafanya kazi gani? KDF must pull out of supporting the Jubaland force. They must relocate Jubaland from Mandera County. Number 2, We want to also ask our Ethiopian neighbor, please, even yourselves, keep out of Mandera. If you want to support Somalia, there are a lot of border interests you can do. You have a long border with Somalia.
Na usisahau Rigiji alituambia hii. Sikiza.
William Ruto, you need to know, the Americans want to know why you are working with Alshaabab. Why, when you are in Mandera, you met 3 leaders of the Alshaabab militia at night to discuss business with them. They want to know why.
Hello guys, a very good morning. It is on a Thursday, the 7th of August 2025. So these are the updates from both Kenya and Somalia, but let me begin with Kenya because a lot is happening in Kenya. So yesterday, you remember that the 2 leading newspapers, that is the Standard and the Daily Nation, reported that the US is investigating and is trying to assess the links that Kenya has with armed groups like RSF and China and Iran and also Russia. So yesterday, while at a round table business meeting in Nairobi, President William Ruto said that Kenya's links to China or Kenya's relationship with China is basically of economic interest. And he avoided talking about his links to RSF and armed groups. So this is what happened last evening. So last evening, the former impeached deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, that is Rigathi Gachagua, who was the former deputy of William Ruto, in a town hall meeting in Kansas, the United States of America, sensationally claimed that he has evidence that Ruto is working with not only RSF, but also Alshaabab in Somalia. So he went head on and said that Ruto, while on a visit to Mandera, while on a tour to Northeastern and specifically Mandera County, that William Ruto met 3 key Alshaabab leaders and they were discussing business. That's according to Rigathi Gachagua. So the U.S. Foreign Relations Committee chairman said that yesterday that they are assessing Kenya's links to terrorism, to armed groups, not terrorism group, but armed groups, and they specifically named RSF, but they never mentioned the other armed groups. So Rigathi Gachagua in a town hall meeting yesterday sensationally claimed that Ruto is working with even Alshaabab and they're doing business with Alshaabab, and he even went ahead on and said that Ruto met 3 key Alshaabab leaders in the border town of Mandera in Kenya. So that is something that is very, very, sensational. It's something that, I don't know how the William Ruto administration will respond to that, but a lot is happening concerning that. And the reason why the US wants to assess and also downgrade or remove Kenya from the list of non-NATO allied members is because of China. So Ruto went to China. He met, the Chinese leadership. They rolled the red carpet for him. It was a state visit. And it seems that Ruto, when he was asked, are you working with China? But he said, that is early this year, he said that Kenya is not looking east nor west. Kenya is looking forward. And Kenya will only do whatever that is in the best of interest of Kenya. So that is what is happening in Kenya. And yesterday, some police officers were severely injured in a roadside bomb in Garissa, and Alshaabab claimed responsibility for that. So Alshaabab is also still operating within the border towns in Kenya. Not only yesterday, but the day before yesterday, that is on Tuesday morning, Alshaabab tried to carry out a massive attack in a military camp called Marereni, Lamu, but they were repelled. So Alshaabab fighters came in huge numbers, but the Kenya Defense Forces repelled them, and they fought back. And Kenya has a problem with Alshaabab fighters based in Boni Forest, and mostly about the bulk of those fighters are mostly Kenyans from the coastal northeastern province, and they joined Alshaabab at the peak of Alshaabab activities, or at the peak of Alshaabab formation. That is in 2008, 9, 10, 11, upwards. So Kenya has been having this kind of problem, and these guys come in groups of 5, 4, or 3, and they bury bombs or explosives beside the road and target Kenyan military or police convoy. So yesterday, a dozen police officers were injured when their armored personnel carrier overran an IED. So that is what is happening in Kenya. And let me cross over to Somalia. So Ethiopia has named a new ambassador to Somalia, a very controversial figure, an individual who was, one time quoted as saying that he supports the secession of Somaliland from the rest of Somalia. So this is a very, very controversial individual. And it seems that Ethiopia wants to recognize Somaliland as an independent country if Somaliland gives them part of the, coastal strip. That is basically part of the coastal town called Berbera, to establish a naval base. So within Somalia still, so yesterday I ignored the report, and this report seems to be, coming back again and again. And this report is about the Ethiopian troops based in southern part of Somalia, that's specifically the town called Dolo that borders Ethiopia, from on the side of southern Somalia. It's called Dolo. So it is said that the Ethiopian troops or the Ethiopian army based there invited elders to a meeting, and they instructed the elders, this is according to the governor of Gedo region. And so they instructed the elders in Gedo region to tell the Somali National Army to vacate Bered How, or else they will be met with unknown consequences. So those are Ethiopia's army or Ethiopia's military telling the Somali National Army to vacate part of their country, or they will be met with unknown consequences. So that is what is happening in Somalia.
You need to know, the Americans want to know why you are working with Al-Shabaab. Why, when you are in Mandera, you met 3 leaders of the Al-Shabaab militia at night to discuss business with them. They want to know why. They also want to know why you have removed the requirement for vetting of non-Kenyans before they are given IDs. The Americans are concerned that suspected terrorists will be registered as Kenyans, and they will find their way to America and the rest of the world and create terror in the world. Your decision to suspend vetting of foreigners before they are given registration in Kenya is a threat to world security. And not just the Americans are concerned, Kenyans are concerned too. And this you must answer. You cannot endanger the security of the world because of your business interest. It is true you are doing business with Al-Shabaab, but you cannot endanger world security. The Americans also want to know why, against the Kenya Constitution, you have become the worst violator of human rights in Kenya. Why are you abducting young children? Why are you killing young children? Why did you abduct American, Turkey nationals of American origin who were abducted and disappeared? These are things that are in the radar of the American security system. You can play around with people in Kenya, but you cannot play with the American government. They have you on the radar. And the evidence is everywhere. And you cannot run away from it. So please, don't hide behind China. The issues you need to confront are well known to you. That you have compromised world security in pursuit of business interest. And this time around, you will not escape. You may push people around in Kenya. You may harass everybody in Kenya. But I don't think you have the capacity to harass the American government. And they have you under the radar. You can run, but you cannot hide. Your day is coming. I want to say that the evidence is there. The shoot to kill orders by Kipchumba Murkomen, he cannot deny. Your own order of shooting people in the leg, you cannot deny. So even if you get the PS for Foreign Affairs to issue statements, the evidence is everywhere. And you must be held to account. In fact, the other day when I was here, I was with some senior American leaders last Sunday. And we were watching live a meeting taking place in Murang'a, where policemen were beating leaders and were protecting armed goons. And these American leaders could not believe that it is possible for policemen to attack civilians. They could not believe it. They could not believe that policemen can escort gangs to beat civilian population. William Ruto, that evidence is here in America. And there's no way you can run away from it. And those things will come to light. On that matter, let me appeal to all of you. In your respective states, you have senators, you have elected, you have congressmen, you have elected. Please tell them about Kenya. Tell them to support this bill when it comes to the floor of the House.
So now, from now, you need to be believing that Rigathi Gachagua is a truthful man. Na ndo maana William Ruto, wakati ambapo Rigathi Gachagua alitua uwanja ndege, akaogopa kumuarrest. Unaona watu wangu, akaogopa kumfanya nini? Kumuarrest. Juu alijua huyu jamaa ni msema ukweli. Tunaweza mshika na atuaibisha pale wakati ambapo watu watakuwa na focus following why Zida Rigathi Gachagua amekuwa arrested. Wakati atakuwa anazungumza pale ndani, then government itself itakuwa ashamed. Unaona watu wangu? Now William Ruto akahost Meru residents in State House. Sasa hizi William Ruto anafanya campaign State House tu. Unaona watu wangu? Sikiza.
On Friday, State House Nairobi played host to grassroots leaders from Meru County for an engagement with President William Ruto on the country's development agenda. While acknowledging the strides the country has made since he assumed office, the head of state noted that the country's transformation demands unity of purpose and the power of collective action.
Kenya imechelewa kwa mambo ya transformation. Tulianza na nchi ya Singapore. Leo wako first world, sisi bado tuko third world. Na tulianza pamoja. Hapa katikati tulichelewa. Mnanielewa? Na ndio sababu mkanipatia hii nafasi. And I am not going to let you down. Hii nchi tutaibadilisha.
The president maintained that the Social Health Authority had brought equity in healthcare.
Wale wote ambao hawana uwezo wa kulipa, tumewaorodhesha, sasa tutawalipia kama serikali ya Kenya. Wale wako na uwezo wa kulipa, utalipa kulingana na uwezo yako.
He also hailed the transformation brought about by the Hustler Fund, with more than 10,000 Kenyans being able to borrow money from the kitty every day.
Nione watu wale wako na account ya Hustler Fund. Sindio? So watu wanajipanga hapo. Kuna mtu sufuria yake imechukuliwa kwa sababu ya Hustler Fund. Kuna mtu ng'ombe yake imechukuliwa kwa sababu ya Hustler Fund. Hata kama wengine hawajalipa, ni watu wazuri, watalipa wakipata pesa siku ingine. There is no problem.
President Ruto also said through the Nyota program, the first batch of 100,000 youth will be receiving money by the 18th of September this year to grow their businesses. The president vowed to ensure sustained efforts that will guarantee inclusive growth for all Kenyans.
We pray and request you declare declaration of Meru as the next city in Kenya.
Hatusikizi wale ambao wanaeneza siasa za chuki, za ukabila na migawanyiko na kusema maneno mengi yenye hayana mpango wa kazi.
Meru County, saa hii tunavyoongea, is one of the counties where the support of this government is intact.
Atitungojee second term. Hapana, mimi nikamwambia wacha nifanye. Kama kutakuwa na term 2, kuna kazi ya kutosha ya kufanya pia hiyo kwa term 2. Lakini hii wacha nimalize hii na term 1.
I
sit in the budget committee.
You've not raised it on the floor of the House.
I sit in the budget committee. We've raised it, but only cents. The thing is, in the budget, if you look at the Kenyan budget today, there's nothing, and that's why we are saying, if we really want to help Kenyans, can we come up with the programs which go to the budget so that we empower Kenyans? But what is happening is, there is a vote called confidential vote in this country, which is in various offices. This vote is never audited by anybody. So it is zero accountability. And this is in most cases, this is the money used to do all these funny things you see in this country. People go, it's like you
so this is coming from the confidential account?
No. Don't be surprised if it's coming from, I'm not confident, but because I have no evidence. But don't be surprised. But remember at one point, Deputy President, the immediate Deputy President, the former now, he said there's a whole container somewhere in this country where people go and poke their hands in and come out with the money. This, I think, has been said by Kenyans.
A whole container?
I've never been to the State House since this 13th Parliament personally. I've never stepped in that State House. So, I would be cheating if I say I know it. But people who have lived there, like a former Deputy President, I've said there is a whole container where money is picked and is given. There's money being used to do all this rubbish you are calling corruption. Let's call a spade a spade.
Just to weigh in on this, you know, I want to also remind my colleagues. The Auditor General has said time and again, 14 billion, 9 billion, 20 billion is lost through the e-citizen system. Where do you think that money goes? Look here, we budget for capitation money to schools. Do schools get the capitation money? They don't. Universities and TVETs are struggling. They do not get capitation money. Where do you think this money goes? This is the money Kenya Kwanza, because they lack ideas, they lack creativity, they steal this money, then use it to go and bribe Kenyans. And I want to tell you today, I know the chairman here is burning to say something. That is the money that is being used to bribe Kenyans through the empowerment programs. And I want to tell you this. Like in my region, we have banned the empowerment programs going forward. Unless they're bringing for us motorbikes, posho mills, vehicles, tuk-tuks, car wash machines, and stuff like that. And we told our people, if they come there bribing you with 1,000 shillings, 100 shillings, 50 shillings, make sure their choppers and their vehicles don't live there, so that we also get to feel how the rest of Kenya feels. Because what they are doing in our area is, the Member of Parliament hosting, particularly the women reps that are used in the region, they lie that they have 70 groups that are supposed to be benefiting from this fund. Then they are given from State House 20 million shillings. This 20 million shillings is shared amongst the members of Parliament that are coming to support. Then the Deputy President has his amount that he gives of about 2 million shillings, and one that he has been sent by the President, about 3 million shillings. 5 million shillings. And then it is shared amongst the 10, 15 other members of Parliament that are in that gang. They go on to raise, let's say, 10 to 12 million shillings. Then these members of Parliament, particularly for my region, I know, like now the women reps in that region, they go and lie that they have 70 groups that should benefit from that amount, yet they don't publicize, they don't send it, they don't put it anywhere. They go on to give just 40 groups. The rest of the amount is shared, is taken back. And that is what they do. That is the truth. Where do they get this money if it is not in the budget? And how come? I'm disappointed with my chairman here.
Please allow me to say
when
this.
He says that this Harambee spirit, you'll speak, Mr. Chairman. I know this hurts you because it is the truth. I'm not lying, I'm telling the truth. Look here. And I want to tell the chairman here, because they've been accustomed with the pandemic of lies. He's feeling angry because I'm saying the truth. Look here. When they go out with this money that they used to bribe voters, they don't realize, Dibal, even yourself probably don't know, that the Kenyan voter has moved on. The Kenyan voter has evolved. That is why they went to State House the other day, they picked motorbikes, they picked PA systems, they picked all these things. They were given 2,000 shillings, including some of my nephews and nieces who were called there by some MCAs. And I want to tell you, they left that place singing the same song that every Kenyan is singing one time. That is what happens. It is happening everywhere. The Kenyan voter has evolved. He has moved on. But we, the politicians, still think we can continue bribing them and playing with them with money that has been collected as taxes that is supposed to help them get affordable and accessible healthcare, schools to get capitation. Teachers are suffering, head teachers are suffering with deaths. Yeah?